Welcome everyone to another episode of JDM Racing in F1 22. My team, we're at Interlagos in Brazil for round 21 of this championship season, and qualifying coming up next. And it has to be said that this weekend, the reminder is that it is a sprint weekend, so the qualifying positions that are set are for the sprint, and then the finishing positions from the sprint will set the grid for the race. So either way, we're going to want to make sure that we finish in front of Charles Leclerc. And as we come over the line, we are 10th, so not great. Lando Norris's good run of form continues, then he is quickest in Q1. Michael up in 5th, so he's bang on the pace, but we're still down in 10th.
2 minutes remaining in the session. We need a good lap here or we're out of qualifying. Come on.
So as we come to the business end of this Q2 session, 1.5 minutes left. You can see that up the top there, Albon is on the intermediate tyre, and people are running the soft tyre in an attempt to try and get a quick time in on their dry tyre compound at the end of the session. We go quickest. So we go quickest with a minute left on the clock, but in that 1 minute we've mistimed the run because other people have gone way quicker than us, and we end up 14th. So Michael's still third, Lando Norris quickest again, so we're going to have our work cut out for us in the sprint.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway ahead of today's sprint.
And unfortunately for us, it turns out that Charles Leclerc actually managed to get second place and a front row start for the sprint. So it is worth mentioning that you do get points for the sprint, so it's not over as far as the championship goes, and if Charles Leclerc can get a decent haul of points and we don't, if we don't manage to work our way through the field, then he could keep his championship defense alive as we go into the race proper. So our job will just be to get forward as fast as we can and try and get up with Michael and apply pressure to that Ferrari. So you see the notification there at the top of the screen. We've decided to take a bunch of new engine parts to help us get through the field in this sprint, and that is going to cost us when we get to the race proper. But as we try and pick our way through, there's so many cars in such a small space. We have a warning for a collision with Zhou on the inside there into turn 1, but we managed to pick our way through and get up to 12th place, sitting behind Daniel Ricciardo in that McLaren. And Zhou still having another look through Descida do Lago as we go up towards Ferradura and stay within range of Daniel Ricciardo and take a lunge down inside Ricciardo and Ocon at the apex and get up into 10th behind Valtteri Bottas. And as we slingshot out of Pinheiro into Bico de Pato, we get down the inside of Bottas. Into lap 2 then, and we're all over the back of Sergio Perez in that Red Bull. Trying our luck at Bico de Pato again, being as it was successful against Bottas, but we're just a little bit more ragged this time. Have to be patient. And at the end of lap 3, after lining things up into the pit straight, we get the ERS and the DRS on Perez, and we're going to fancy our chances into the center S and just go up on the curb, trying to deal with Perez there, get through, and we're now into 8th place, up into the points paying positions for the sprint. By the time we get through to lap 5, we've closed up on Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes, and we are looking to try and get ourselves closer. We can see Leclerc up there just behind our teammate. We're going to try do everything we can as we go Pico de Pato again and get that move done. So that seems to be our favourite overtaking spot at the moment.
P7, you've moved into P7.
Coming into the last lap of the sprint, we have had a DRS failure. That's what the orange marking was on the readout there on our HUD. So no DRS available for us.
Okay, there's a fault with the DRS. You will not be able to open the rear wing. We're working on a fix. Stay out for now.
As we try and defend Hamilton. And we take a bump there, have to go across the curb. So it's all going off on the last lap. So we managed to stave off the challenge of Hamilton. Maybe he took damage when we touched earlier on in that lap. But Lando Norris takes the victory in the sprint. And we come home 7th. So damage limitation then. Leclerc does get points on us today though. Confirmation of the results of the sprint then. Lando Norris takes full 8 points for that win. Michael Schumacher takes 7 points for JDM for a 2nd place finish. And Charles Leclerc rounding out the top 3, so he does gain 3rd compared with our 7th. There is a good chunk of points there, which is vital for his championship defence.
Formula One returns to Interlagos once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his 3rd championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. 2 very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the 2 DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Michael Schumacher alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Valtteri Bottas and Ocon, Ricciardo, Gasly, Joe and George Russell, Stroll, Albon, Carlos Sainz and Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Tsunoda, Sebastian Vettel and Nicholas Latifi, Tictum, Hamilton. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Verstappen and Gardner. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Here we go then, the formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm. That may or may not play into some of the team's hands in today's race.
Unfortunately for us then, Hamilton and Verstappen are both taking engine penalties as well, so we've got fast cars down the back with us to try and navigate through. Hopefully we can clear them quickly. Leclerc, for the championship, he has to win today to keep his hopes alive to take it to Abu Dhabi. We just have to get up as far as we can and make sure that he doesn't do that. If we can do that, we win.
Failing that, within the points.
Off we go then, and immediately it looks like we got a better start than Verstappen in the Red Bull, so we try and get up alongside him as much as we can and then see if we can get down the inside of Tictum, but no, we decide to back out of that one and then try again. Oh, and almost get wing damage by tussling with his teammate Vettel in that other Aston Martin. And in fact, Max Verstappen is just gone completely down the inside of us, and we've had to back out of it. So preservation kicking in there. A replay of the race start then. Lando Norris on pole position in the McLaren on your left. Michael Schumacher in the sister JDM on your right. And it looks like Michael got a fantastic start. And up he goes into the lead of the race for JDM Racing. Lando Norris has to defend hard, but actually doesn't manage it. And drops to third behind Sergio Perez's Red Bull. Looked like he was going to make a move, but has to tuck in. As we rejoin on board, trying to out-drag Vettel. And then, go straight up the inside of Verstappen. And almost take our front left wheel off. But just managed to get it done. Get in front of Latifi and Magnussen. So we are scything our way through the field at the moment. At the start of lap 2, following Hamilton down into the start of the centre S, and we get right up on the curb. There's no room there. We have to back out, make sure that we don't get any damage, and then we just have to re-engage a bit further on. Back up at the front, and Lando Norris making a move on Sergio Perez into Interlagos around the outside. And gets the move done, so he's back up to second, but Perez isn't going to give it up. He's going to stay with him as they go side by side all the way through. And now Lando seems to have got the move done, so they're fighting hard for those podium positions up at the front, whilst Michael tries to scamper away. We are back on board into turn 8, going up the inside of Lewis Hamilton. We get that one done. And then trying to get a run on Mick Schumacher in that Haas. Sort of fake down the outside and then switch back to the inside and get that move done at Vico de Pato. Into the first DRS zone on lap 3 on Yuki Tsunoda, and then we go hard on the brakes into Interlagos and get that move done. So we're up to 14th now. Coming into lap 4, and we are slipstreaming the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz, making a move down into the center S. Have to slam the brakes on hard, make sure that we don't negate our exit speed, and we're up to 13th. Next target is George Russell, and we take a big chunk of curb, almost get on the grass there, trying to get up inside and past George Russell. We managed to get that done, a purple first sector, so we're really on the gas here. And now we're chasing Alexander Albon in the Williams, and he tries to move to the inside to block us. We take another big chunk of curb and then just accelerate with the battery out all the way down towards the start finish line. And both cars behind us now, Russell and Albon, are out dragging us down to the center S with the DRS, so we have to just tuck in behind Russell. So we gained 2 places but lost 1 back. However, being as we're not in the mood today to just sit behind people, we get right back at George Russell and take him back for 11th place, and we're going to get straight onto the back of Daniel Ricciardo, who is in that McLaren on the medium tyres.
Okay, you're in the dirty air of the car in front. Let's get past them. We're currently trailing our teammate by 7.2 seconds.
So we take a look at Ricciardo, but similar to Hamilton, he shuts the door on us. But not to be denied, further on round the lap, we take a punt and a dive down the inside and get 10th place and into the points past Daniel Ricciardo. So with each move we're getting closer to Leclerc as we go past Stroll as well. So we're really in aggressive mode at the moment. As we join our race leader Michael Schumacher in the JDM, and Lando Norris right on his tail. He's closed the gap there at the front. So the early lead that Michael Schumacher built in those opening laps has been negated by the pace of Lando Norris in the McLaren. Michael Schumacher is going to want a fast stop to get out in front of that McLaren. And the medium tyres go on, no issues with the jack. Schumacher resumes in the lead.
Michael is in the pits. Michael in the pits now.
And as we continue and overtake a bunch of cars in the pit lane, get onto the back of Guan Yu Zhou in the Alfa Romeo, we slipstream and put a bunch of battery and the DRS on, and we're going to have a look at the end of the DRS straight, down the outside, and we get the move done. Stay within track limits. Further on round the same lap, at the end of lap 8, we go into the pit lane behind Sergio Perez in the Red Bull. We wanted to get that move done so we didn't have to contend with Zhou going into the pit lane. And hopefully, being as we are going to be, our pit garage is at the end of the pit lane, we shouldn't have to deal with many people coming out. Tyres go on. Looks like a fairly routine stop. 2.9, a little bit slow.
Look after these tyres now. You want to finish.
Would have wanted it to be closer to 2.2 or 2.3 seconds stationary, but we exit the pit lane and we see Gasly in the AlphaTauri on the outside of us to our right. He moves back in. We put some of the battery on and then go up the inside and get the move done and move into 5th place behind Charles Leclerc. Pace feels good at the moment. Keep giving me the gap to Leclerc, please. I need to know how far he is in front of me at all times. I'm going to try and get up as soon as I can to help Michael with Norris. So just keep letting me know about the gaps. So as we keep an eagle eye on our championship rival Charles Leclerc, we just pump in another fastest lap. So we have got him almost within DRS range now. We've cut a second out of him, a second still to go. And we are ramping up that pressure on Leclerc. And a yellow flag. And oh look, Charles Leclerc's engine has just blew up in our face. He is going to be out of the race. Heartbreak for the Monegasque driver. Into lap 12 on board the Ferrari with Charles Leclerc coming out of the center S and just loses power, and you can see the smoke starting to pour out the back of that engine, and Charles Leclerc's defense of his championship crown comes to an agonizing end. What a shame, he didn't deserve that.
And some information on Leclerc. Okay, they're out of this race.
Well, I know that makes us world champion, but we've still got a job to do. Let's go and help Michael out. At the end of lap 12 then, race leader Daniel Ricciardo in that second McLaren comes in on the medium tyre. He's been running that since the start of the race. It's gone very long. And the hard tyres go on, so they're not taking any risks on putting the soft tyre on. They're going to make sure they have enough tyre grip to last them through to the end of the race. And Ricciardo is not on the pace of his teammate today, but he has done well and is going to come out closer towards the bottom of the top 10. So he will resume. So as we realise that Ricciardo is pitting and it is just going to be the 2 JDMs against the 1 McLaren, we can start to play the team game now and go and try and help out our teammate to get this 1-2. Into lap 14, and we are lining up Lando Norris with the ERS. He has DRS from our teammate in front, but that's not going to stop us. We're going to dive down the inside at Interlagos and get the move done. We're up into second place. Replay of this overtaking maneuver then. We are taking no prisoners today. Both cars with the DRS wide open. We just jink out. Tried to give ourselves enough room on the inside, and luckily for us, Norris knew we were there. Here's Norris's onboard camera then. Just stays on the outside. We go sailing up the inside. Pretty clean move all in all. It's not over yet though. Lando Norris slipstreaming us with the DRS, going down into the center S. He kind of parks on the apex, slows right down. We go around the outside of him and then manage to swing back into the next corner. and as it happened, that would be the last defence we would have to make as Lando dropped back and we tuck in behind our teammate for another 1-2 finish. What a day for JDM Racing then. Michael Schumacher about to cross the line to win the Brazilian Grand Prix, and Gardner the world champion.
Great job, Michael. Fantastic, thank you. Well done. No, thank you, boys. Thank you, boys, for giving me a car and for you to give me the results that you deserve. Thank you, boys.
Well, it's certainly been an incredible year for Formula 1.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you. It's not the way we would have wanted to win it with Charles going out like that, but we did the job today. We've done the job pretty much every weekend this year. You should all be massively proud of yourselves.
Another superb Sao Paulo Grand Prix comes to an end then, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory.
What a result for Michael then. Managed to stave off the challenge of Lando Norris earlier in the race, and then just sat in front while we managed to cut our way through and tuck in behind him. It wasn't necessary for us to put the team at risk and try and overtake Michael on that last lap or even in the closing laps. It was more important that we got the 1-2, and that's exactly what we did. So that's Michael's second win for JDM, his second in a row, as we celebrate in the garage with the team. Cameras all around, and we will be enjoying that one late into the night, into the early hours. Time to run down the results then. So Ferrari have, with those sprint results, confirmed that they are the Constructors World Champions for this season. We, with that 1-2 finish and Charles Leclerc not finishing the race, have cemented ourselves as the Formula 1 Drivers' World Champion. Michael Schumacher, fantastic result for him, for the team, his second win of the season and his second win for the team. So that's a great way for us to finish out this World Championship. There's going to be plenty more to play for and bragging rights at Abu Dhabi in the next Grand Prix. Here is the confirmation then by looking at the Drivers' Championship table. We are 65 points ahead of Charles Leclerc with only 26 left to play for. So that means that we are this year's Drivers' World Champion. Michael Schumacher with 25 points in the last 2 rounds goes up to 9th place in the Drivers' Championship. Ferrari, as we said, only 44 points left to play for going into Abu Dhabi. So we cannot catch them for the Constructors' Championship, but we can try and remain ahead of Mercedes for that second place and the all-important prize money that comes with it, that we can pump into next year's car and make an even greater challenge to try and get that Constructors' title. So I hope you enjoyed the action-packed race and the championship winning celebrations. Join us next time to wrap this up in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for watching. Take care.